Welcome to the Concordia College Football Show with Coach Terry Horan. Terry, due to some technical difficulties last week, one of the greatest weeks in a while here we've had, we weren't able to bring the show to some folks, so we're going to do a double take here and talk about the big upset win against St. John's and then the Troll Trophy.
Oh, I'm all for it, no problem.
So, Terry, just go back 2 weeks and think about all that was going on with you from an outside perspective, inside perspective.
Yeah. Well, really, there was nobody outside of the walls of our locker rooms that thought we had a chance in that game. And it was interesting because when I was walking into the locker room, I heard Zach Ellingson tell one of our players, hey, it's a good day when you're on the right side of the grass. So as I was walking up the steps to the locker room, I just brought Zach into my pregame speech. I said, Zach, what did you tell Jared Lozano as we were kind of coming up the steps? He goes, Coach, I said, it's a great day when you're on the right side of the grass. And I said, exactly. So I said, everybody, put your 2 fingers on your pulse. You feel the pulse? I see some of you smiling, so I know that you're breathing. So if you've got a pulse and you're breathing, that means you still got fight left in you. Yeah. And that our collective group needs to go out and fight and play football like we were 10 years old in the backyard where you just had fun and you played free. Because we've had some ups and downs this year, no question about it. But this game, Norm, this was a 3-phase game where every single play, every single person mattered. And I think it could be one of the biggest ones we've had in 19 years since I've been here.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at those highlights from St. John's game.
Sounds good. All right, running onto the field it was actually a pretty good day. You know, they had good fan support, as St. John's always has. It's a great place it's a great venue to play. Yeah. But this was the shock right out of the gates. It was, you know, we didn't score on this drive, but Willie Julk, 78 yards down the sideline. I mean, look at you, Norm. You're even excited running down the sideline with it. But that was a great, you know, kind of, here comes a punch from us and wide left on the field goal attempt, which I know Alex Diaz wishes he had back. But our D's were relentless all day. We bent, but we didn't break. You know, Jackson Erdman, one of the top quarterbacks in the country, threw 4 picks. He had 3 picks going into this game. Our guys came away with 4 picks on the day, and that was pretty amazing. So it was good stuff. He was a little quick kick by Blake Cragness. And, again, field position's a big deal, especially when you're playing teams like this. They get on the board first, but this is going to be the first of 3 attempts that we blocked. That's unheard of.
Yes.
I can see 1 in a game, but 3. And every single attempt that they tried, we blocked. A tribute to our 2 kids who were our leapers, but obviously on film watching that they kick pretty low, and we were able to block them. But the timing, everything that's got to go right there. That was a great punt with the turnover. Alex Burgess continues to keep impressing me with his leg. But there's our score. We kicked the PAT here seconds later, right here, and now we're up 7-6. So a little new life and momentum, most definitely in our corner. I mean, this guy's dangerous. I mean, he has a great offensive line. There were times that he could have had a sandwich back there, but our guys were relentless on the effort. There's Mason Griefey from Cold Spring Ricori, senior defensive back with his 2nd pick of the day. Look at Willie Julks coming up. Not only is he a special team specialist, he really plays well at that outside linebacker. And another senior, too. Another senior stepping up. Here's Mason Griefey with a little help from Alex Berg and company. I mean, Ethan Eagerton in on that as well. Fantastic. Just running to the football, and we preached that. And that was a 4th down play. Here's a little Logan Hatfield on a little power run of ours. And then run a little midline option with our big horse, Ethan.
Go take the lead, 10.
Take the lead, going Afton 10-6. So it was that was a big deal for us. And then on the first drive of the second half, Will Burning kind of slipped, and 84 got behind him, and put them up 12-10. But lo and behold, look at this. We come out, we block the PAT, and Marshall Falk, yeah, he wishes he's Marshall Falk. Marshall King running like Marshall Falk down to the end zone for a 2-point conversion that ties it at 12.
I thought they were going to have to carry him up the field.
Oh, my gosh. Look at that. That was crazy. So it's 12-12, and here's great pressure. And there's Sam Ensign, the Moorhead boy, that's just scratching and clawing. He throws it up. Sam Michael ends up getting the pick. Sam Michael's the MIAC Defensive Player of the Week. Willie Julks was the Special Teams Player of the Week and the National Special Teams Player of the Week. Here's another pick by Will Burning. Two of their receivers collided. Will kept the leverage on the ball and was able to pick it up and get us pretty good field position, too. There's what Erdman does really well. He just kind of finds space, but he threw this one into the ground, and it was a great call by the officials.
Well, that takes us to overtime.
Yep, we're in overtime, 12-12. We elected to go on D first, and we made a few stops. They end up getting in the score. They decided to go for 2. They did the Philly special. They converted it, but they had 2 linemen in the end zone. They decided to kick the PAT. Look what happened. We got the next block. So here's our 4th down play. It was just a little post corner that Matt Bai was able to reach over their All-American defensive back and make probably one of the greatest catches I've seen in my time here. And
he's also the MIAC Offensive Player.
He was the MIAC Offensive Player of the Week. He catches that ball, then he has to go and snap the ball to the guy who just threw it to him for Alex Diaz to hit the PAT. And then obviously this happens, and the joy on their faces. This is what it's all about, And by the times that we've had some tough losses and you've seen those down faces, this makes up for it twofold when you get to see your kids enjoy a great victory, a hard-fought victory, one that everybody's role was important, even the guys that didn't even get on the field. We talked about how we needed everyone to be the juice on the sidelines, just to continue the energy from our side. We had a great following from our fan section, our kids, and our staff. This was a great program win, and I'm really proud of them.
All righty. When we return, we'll take a look at the St. Olaf highlights.
Minnesota's been one of the great stories in football. They didn't play today, but the state of Minnesota delivered in a big way. Concordia College, located in Moorhead, Minnesota, was 2-5 entering play against the number 4 team in D3, St. John's. The Cobbers blocked 2 extra points in regulation, returned one of them for a 2-point conversion, forced overtime, blocked a 3rd PAT, then scored on a Blake Craigness to Matt Bai touchdown pass, converted their own PAT. They stunned St. John's 19-18. First ever win over a top 5 team for Terry Horan and the Concordia Cobbers. By the way, that touchdown pass, the 3rd completion all day for Concordia.
Welcome back to the Concordia College Football Show. You have to get ready for another tough opponent coming to town here, St. Olaf and the Troll.
Absolutely. It's a rivalry game because we have the traveling trophy, the ugliest college football traveling trophy in the country, and ESPN agrees with that. It's been at our place for 7 straight years. The biggest concern I had as a football coach, and our entire staff was included on this, is when you go from an emotional game to get back to that emotional level is not easy to do, especially when you're practicing temperatures that are in the teens and even below. But it was senior day, and you're battling for a rivalry trophy, so that should be enough to get our guys energized and wanting to perform and to send out our 17 seniors on a great note. So it was a fun day, a great day, an emotional day, but let's show the highlights and we can talk about another victory.
Definitely a slugfest.
Yes, it was. I didn't know the weather was going to be as difficult as it was. I mean, you wouldn't think it. It was just some soft, powdery fluff, but there was some wet. It accumulated. Footing wasn't great. Passing game wasn't great. But it was a battle of field position. And this kid right here, Alex Berg, just continues to impress me. Here's another fumble recovery, just like we had last week against St. John's. Gave us a short field. Unfortunately, 2 plays later, we fumbled the snap. And this is our first score. but he didn't come off of that fumble. But this is Wyatt Curtis getting his first collegiate touchdown. So that was right before half. So we went up 7-0, and that was huge because nobody was really moving the ball a whole lot, even though we had great field position. That punt of about 58 yards, they started kind of getting the field position back. Well, Alexburg flipped the field again and gave them a long field to travel, and we were able to get Austin Enerson in here on a 9-yard scamper, and that was off of another special teams play where their punter bobbled the ball for a second, didn't think he could get it off, and we sacked him on the 9-yard line. So another huge play by our special teams. Our special teams and our defense played outstanding in this game, and offensively we did enough to put a couple points up to win a football game and to carry this guy off. And I was telling these guys, be easy with that boy, because he's fragile. He's tipping over, and it's a great day when you can see your guys holding up a rivalry trophy and knowing that we won on senior day, and then we had a meal with all the families and the seniors afterwards. We brought the parents into the locker room to sing the school song. That was a lot of pride, and it was really cool. Everyone was so full of pride. They really were. It's a proud moment.
Yeah. Now talk a little bit about Shawn Maguire.
Yeah.
In the snaps there. He had to come in cold, freezing cold.
Yeah. And it happened early in the first quarter, but it was still cold. And during the course of a week, your backup quarterback's got to get some reps, but he never gets as many reps as your number one. And he doesn't get many reps with that number one center. So we had a little center to quarterback snap exchange snafu a couple times. We actually lost one of them, which was, we were getting really concerned. But, Shawn's a competitor. He hunkered in and he did what he needed to do to continue to move our offense. Bright quarterback, understands our scheme. We're in good hands with Shawn. If Blake can't go on Saturday, we're in good hands with Shawn because he's competitive. He's a student of the game, and he understands what we need to do.
And what was so awesome is you could tell he was frustrated at first, but you immediately saw when that confident, like, I got this.
Absolutely, he's got an air to him that he breathes confidence. That he had a little run off a little GT pole that he bumped outside, got about 15 yards on. I think that's kind of helped him get his spunk going. But smart kid, loves the game. Our kids rally around him, so we feel good about our backup situation, and then actually even behind him too. So we're in good shape.
All righty. When we return, we'll talk about Carleton. Welcome back to the Concordia College Football Show. We're now joined by position coach Andrew Moore. Andrew, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining me.
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, like I talked with TH last week, technical difficulties caused us to not have a show, but we're back at it, and we got 2 wins under the belt since then.
Yeah, bend don't break. Let's go.
Oh yeah. So tell me a little bit about your emotions from the St. John's win.
Oh, it was incredible. Emotions were high, spirits were high. A team that's fought really hard and, maybe hasn't had that lucky break or that lucky hop, we're able to get those. And it was incredible. And when that field goal went through, it brings up some really good emotions. It's why you want to coach, when you got that win for the kids, and it's special.
All right. Now, as a coach, how were you able to bring the guys back down to earth to prepare for a tough St. Olaf team?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just realizing what we're capable of, and now the standard's set, and now we have to come out and play to that potential every week, and it got the kids locked in, and the kids realized that, we may have just knocked off a great football team, but we have 2 more weeks to get back to 500, which, we've been motivated to do. So.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Crosby, Minnesota.
Crosby, Minnesota.
So on the eastern part of the state, right?
Kind of right in the middle, right next to Brainerd. I grew up in Crosby. My high school head coach was a Cobber Hall of Famer, Mike Gindorf. Played with TH for a couple of seasons. Went to college at North Dakota State, where I was a student coach, worked with the tight end fullbacks. And, after I graduated, Coach Roll, former Cobber coach for a season, got me in touch with Coach Willits and Coach Horan, and it's been smooth sailing since.
All right, man. Yeah, you came on last spring, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And it's like you fit into that office like you've been there the whole time.
Yeah. Good group of young guys, and I think I just, I'm an energetic guy at practice. I think they kind of caught on to that, and they enjoyed that, having some energy and some volume. I get kind of loud sometimes, but yeah, great kids, and they've reacted well, and it's been a good transition.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about the position you coach, tight ends and fullbacks.
So tight end fullbacks at NDSU, and then becoming the slot backs coach here. Okay. It kind of correlates. You're an interior wide receiver. You're an extension in the blocking game when you're right next to the O-line, and we got to do perimeter blocks on TO, and then sometimes going inside or, blocking a D-end or an outside backer on a zone dive play. There's just, you got to have a level of violence, a level of intensity, but you also need to be able to do some finesse things when it comes to running the ball and running routes and catching passes. So it's you have to be a smart kid. I have a good group of young guys who are motivated to get better in all facets of the game, and it's been really exciting to coach them.
Okay, now, slot position is kind of the wing spot, so I guess you want to call it.
Yeah.
How different is it coaching that as opposed to your traditional running back?
Yeah, it's a little different. You got to be able to do a lot more. I would say you have to run inside and outside of the tackle box just like a running back would, but you also have to be a tight end. You also have to be a slot receiver. You got to be able to do a lot of different things, and you got to be smart. You got to know you walk onto the field and you have to make keys on which way you're going and who you're taking, and it takes a lot up here. And I think we got a good group of kids that have really embraced the challenge to play slot here.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me.
Yeah,
it's been a pleasure having you.
Thanks for having me.
That's slot back coach Andrew Moore. Welcome back to the Concordia College Football Show. I'm now joined by senior defensive back Ethan Eagerton and senior linebacker Sam Michael. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, man.
A little Arizona connection here, huh?
Yes, sir.
Tucson, and we have
Phoenix.
Yep. Right.
Yep.
Hey, UA?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you?
Yeah.
All right, all the way from Arizona, let me ask you this. Me being from New Orleans, I always get this, why are you here? In my North Dakota Minnesota voice here. You guys get that?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All the time.
Every time, yeah.
It's so funny, like it is isolated, but it's a lot more than you expect when you first come up here.
Mm-hmm.
So how's your experience been like at Concordia, Ethan?
I've loved every second of it. I would do it all the same.
Really?
Yep.
What about you, Sam?
Yeah, honestly, same. Just the relationships I've formed and all the memories playing football and everything else has been awesome.
And why Concordia? All the way from Tucson, Arizona.
All the way from Tucson, yeah. I just liked it the most. It felt like a family. The coaches were honest with me, and it just felt like a family tradition from the get-go.
Okay. Sam?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of the same stuff. I could tell, when I went on my visit, that the coaches really cared for their players beyond just football. So, yeah, that's a big part of it.
Exercise science major. What do you want to do with that?
Potentially, personal training, strength and conditioning coach. Hopefully like a bigger tooth.
Okay.
More yoked.
Brandon Toothmaker. Yeah. Sam?
Yeah, I'm a finance major, so hopefully get a job, investment management, something along that track. So.
You guys plan on sticking around here?
Yeah. That's the goal.
Yep, I think I'll be in this area.
All right. Big win a couple weeks ago at St. John's. Just talk about the emotions you must have gone through when that, game was over.
Finally got those guys. 4 years is just, we were bound to have one. This year we've played like 5 ranked teams, and to finally have it happen, it's what you work for, like all off season and all 4 years.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've been in a lot of close games, especially this year with really good teams like that. And really our whole career we've had games like that where it comes down to 1 or 2 plays and we're just on the wrong end of it every time. So to have that come out on our end was an awesome feeling.
Yeah. Now you were a cornerback your the majority of your career here.
Yeah.
Now, just recently they moved you to safety. How's that transition working?
It's been definitely interesting. There's a lot more responsibility, making more calls, recognizing formations, but I think knowing the majority of all the coverages has helped a lot.
Okay. Now, at first glance, you look like you'd probably be a safety. At 6'1",
Yeah.
205, you're a big corner.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there any advantages to that?
I mean, yes, but playing corner, it really hasn't like helped at all. I mean, it just feels the same kind of. Just playing back there, playing defensive back.
And Sam, Player of the Week honors. Mm-hmm. We think it was 3 of you guys.
Yep.
Swept the MIAC Player of the Week honors. Mm-hmm. What a great feeling that had to have been.
Yeah, that was awesome. And honestly, I think that the Defensive Player of the Week could have gone to really anyone on our defense, especially watching film the next day. Some of the plays that our DBs were making, Ethan and Mason and Will and Marshall King as well in his first start. Just plays that I've never seen made before, really. It was just crazy. So huge credit to those guys and our whole defense.
Now, this past weekend, St. Olaf came to town, and they were a little different team than St. Olaf in the past. And it looked like they tried to really control the clock out there. And it was a slugfest for a while. What adjustments did you guys make to really finally, get a hold of that game?
Yeah, I think we really just wanted to contain their running back. He's really shifty, able to bounce around a lot, kind of just gets behind his O-lineman and cuts left and right, and I think we did a good job of doing that early. They had to go to the passing game, which in that weather is pretty tough. And so, just being able to limit their run game early was huge.
All right. And Carleton College coming up this weekend, last game dressing in the maroon and gold.
Yep.
Well, what do you think some of the things are going to be going through your mind?
I don't think it's hit me yet. Probably won't hit me until after the game, but it's surreal. It goes by quick, 4 years.
Okay, last meal at the depot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enjoy that one.
Hey, thanks for joining me, guys, and good luck this Saturday.
Thanks, Norm.
All right.
Appreciate it.
That's Ethan Eagerton and Sam Michael. Travel to Northfield this week, Terry.
Yeah, not an easy place to play. Here's a couple things, always each week as a coaching staff, you lay a few things onto your team. Again, they could care less that we beat St. John's. They could care less that we beat their natural rival in St. Olaf. They've been prepping us for 2 weeks. They had a bye week last week, so anytime you have a team that's prepping you for 2 weeks, that's a tough hill climb. Plus, we're at Carleton. It's never an easy place to play. Got to kind of create your own little environment. We're going to have a great following. But boy, at that senior meal after our game on Saturday night, our seniors are all talking about that, one more week with each other, one more week with each other, and that's an important thing. We want to send our seniors out right. We want to even up our record. 5-5 sounds a lot better than 4-6. So we want to propel our guys into the off season, and it's not going to be an easy task. Tom Durnell, their head football coach, he's in his 2nd season. I met Tom when he was a co-D coordinator at Wisconsin River Falls for John O'Grady. Kevin Bolus, who's the head coach at Whitewater, was the other co-D coordinator.
Okay.
So I've known those guys for quite a while. He's been at Elmhurst. He's been at Stevens Point. He's at now Carleton. His son is one of the top receivers in the league. They have a freshman quarterback that plays like he's a senior quarterback. He can chuck it. They're about a 70% pass to about 30 run. They want to chuck the rock, and we got our hands full. This will be a great test, and we're excited for it.
All righty. The Cobbers wrap up the 2019 season on the road at Carleton this Saturday. This has been the Concordia College Football Show with Coach Terry Horan.